Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I am an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and we will be through 2025. In 2026, we'll start the KJV. When we finish with the KJV, probably in 2028, or the end of 2027, so the beginning of 2028, we would start another version of the Bible. In fact, I think we have the Catholic version slated next. But there are 405 versions of the Bible, and part of the point is to read as many of them as possible, and then compare the languages between them. This is just the first one we started with. So, chapter 37 of Genesis, okay? Verses 1 through 36, or the whole chapter. Jacob lived in, this is called Joseph's dreams. Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. This was the account of Jacob. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending to the flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah. Now, these would be handmaids. Okay? His father's wives. And he brought their father a bad report about them. So he was tattling about his brothers. Okay. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons. Now that's Jacob. They just changed his name. Because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made him a richly ornamented robe for him. Which in that day would have looked like a bunch of stitching, I would think. The meaning in Hebrew for richly ornamented is uncertain. So nobody really knows what it looks like. I think it would have had a lot of embroidery on it. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him. Sibling rivalry. And could not speak a kind word to him. What doesn't help, he's running around tattling all the time. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field, when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and then bowed down to it. That's pretty arrogant. His brothers said to him, do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us? And they hated him all the more because of his dreams and what he had said. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. Listen, he said, I had another dream. And this time, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, what is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you? His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept that matter in mind. So, he was like, maybe they're exaggerating, but I'll rebuke him. Because if he's being arrogant, you shouldn't be arrogant. Don't say the sky's going to bow to you, because that's what it sounds like to them. They don't know about the 12 tribes of Israel that are coming in the future. Okay? Joseph's sold by his brothers. So this sibling rivalry is going into, amped up into complete on hatred, because, if you bring unhappiness into the hearts and the minds of wives, they tend to plant that unhappiness in the people who can listen, which is going to sometimes be your children. Okay? So it's going to have natural animosity going on between these brothers. Now, his brothers had gone to graze their father's flock near Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, as you know, your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem. Come, I'm going to send you to them. So like, why were they already out there? And he wasn't. Very well, he replied. So he said to him, go and see to it that all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me. Then he sent him off from the valley of Hebron. So, that's a certain distance. When Joseph arrived at Shechem, it's not necessarily particularly close, is what I was trying to get at. A man found him wandering around in the fields and asked him, what are you looking for? He replied, I'm looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are grazing their flocks? They moved on from here, the man answered. I heard them say, let's go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them near Dothan. But they saw him in the distance, and before he reached them, they plotted to kill them. So what is wrong with these people is my first question. It's like, why is that where it is? Because that's pretty strong. Me and my siblings are not exactly known for our kind and gentle words for each other when we were growing up. But plotting to kill is a bit extreme. And so, okay, verse 19. Here comes that dreamer, they said to each other. Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and say that a ferocious animal devoured him. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams. Ooh. God knows what you're up to. When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. So at least there was one of them that was dissenting. Let's not take his life. Don't shed any blood. Throw him into the cistern here in the desert, but don't lay a hand on him. Reuben said this to rescue him from them and then take him back to his father. So at least he had a good heart. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the richly ornamented robe he was wearing, and they took him and they threw him into the cistern. Now the cistern was empty. There was no water in it, so it's not like they were drowning him. They just threw him down there. As they sat down to eat their meal, they looked up and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Now, Ishmaelites, mind you, that is one of the other children of Abraham. So this is like Isaac's brother. So that would make him, Israel's uncle's countrymen that came from that child, Ishmael. Their camels were loaded down with spices, balm, and myrrh, and they were on their way to take them down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, what will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood. His brothers agreed. So no murder, slavery. Slavery is just better. Not just teach him a lesson. So when the Midianites merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. And they're giving us a footnote that's about 8 ounces or about 0.2 kilograms. So, I'm going to say, I don't know. It's, I don't like it. Nope, I'm not big on, there's no prices on human life. When Reuben returned to the cistern and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. He went back to his brothers and said, the boy isn't there. Where can I turn now? Then they got Joseph's robe, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the robe in the blood, and they took the ornamented robe back to their father. So Reuben wasn't there when they pulled him up. So that's not good. Where did Reuben go? Because he came back and he was gone. I mean, that implies that he left someplace and came back. We found this. Examine it and to see whether it's your son's. Because he gave it to he handed it to his father. He recognized it and said, "It is my son's robe. Some ferocious animal has devoured him." Joseph has surely been torn to pieces. So they traumatized their father. Because they didn't like the dreams their brother had. Then Jacob tore his clothes, because that's Israel, and put on sackcloth and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. "No," he said. "In the morning I will go down to the grave to my son," or down to Sheol. So his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites, in the Samaritan Pentateuch, the Septuagint, the Vulgate, and the Syriac, it's Midianites. The spelling is different. It's Medianites, as opposed to Midianites. Sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, 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 one of Pharaoh's officials. I'm probably saying that wrong. The captain of the guard. So he was sold again afterwards. So it's not like they could even try to just go chase him down. And their father thinks he's dead. So there's nobody going to go look for him. How miserable must that be? Now, was he a little obnoxious there? Yeah, but sold into slavery. No. Strip him of his coat, throw him in the cistern, make him sit down there while you eat a meal, then you pull him back up, tell him he needs to knock off his cocky attitude, throw his coat back, because otherwise next time we're not pulling you up, and here's your coat, and then leave. Maybe that's the Gen X in me.